Everybody. Welcome back to my Zero Carb Life. I'm Kelly Hogan, and I am truly blessed today to have 6 of my current group members here to share some things, just what brought them to carnivore, what they've experienced, in hopes that they wear you down. They bring you over to our side. No, truly, because they are feeling better. And when you're feeling better, it's really hard to keep that to yourself. And that's just that's the space that I've been living for the last 15 years is I feel better and I want you to feel better too. So today, first to have with me, Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kelly, for allowing me to share a little bit of my story. I'm a little nervous, but if my story can help one person, totally worth it.
Yes.
So I came to the carnivore community through an amazing therapist. She was doing carnivore and seeing results in her own health, and she gave me the information and thought if I could do this, that maybe it would help with many challenges, including my bipolar symptoms. So I started watching Dr. Georgie Eid. I started watching Ken Berry. I found Kelly. And it took me a little while, though, to begin. And so about 2 months into watching all those videos, I said, I'm going to go keto. So I decided to do 20 carbs or less a day. And during this period, I really was mourning the loss of food. And I began coming to terms with how much I was using food as a coping mechanism for life. But I committed and started seeing results and challenged myself to go to Ketovore Carnivore on July 27th, 2023. At that time, I was still eating the pickle, a couple of low carb veggies or berries every few months, but I've since cut all of that out. And I began showing really positive results pretty quickly. And since then, I am happy to announce my rosacea's gone. My migraines are almost gone. My blood pressure meds are gone. My sleep patterns are almost normal. My A1C is normal. My brain fog is gone, and my weight is down 70 pounds. How do you? So but most important thing that happened to me is my bipolar symptoms are disappearing and are almost non-existent. So I was diagnosed late in life. I struggled trying all sorts of therapies and therapists, and I was placed on medications, and I did have small wins. And I thank all of those great people for helping me. But I'm 18 months into carnivore, and I'm happy to announce that with the supervision of my psychiatrist and current therapist,
Yes.
we began lowering my medications. And I wanted to repeat, I did this under supervision. So I'm working really hard, and soon I will probably be medication free for the first time. So I'm really excited. Anxiety's gone. I still get normal anxiety. Totally cool with it. Totally okay with that. But I am creating the life I always wanted with consistent work and healing every day. And I'm so grateful to our carnivore community. A huge shout out to my husband, Billy, who supported me and started doing carnivore with me.
Oh,
And yeah, but key things,
okay.
consistency and grace. I
Yes.
did not get this way overnight. I will not heal overnight. Whether or not the day goes right or wrong or the scale goes down, I remind myself of my why. And to be honest, the biggest why for me is to be free of bipolar symptoms and to have control of my life again and impact me and those around me. So I'm spreading the word, folks.
You
I'm spreading the
are.
word.
I'm so happy to pass you this microphone today. I'm like, tell it, Jenny, tell it. So cool. Jenny, I have one of my closest family members, but not in my house, has rosacea that keeps her home a lot.
Yes.
And it breaks my heart because I
Mm.
have talked about carnivore and talked about carnivore and she has literally said to me, I will never try that. And
Oh.
I'm like, why? I think there's a lack of hope that it could help. First of all, I
Right.
didn't have rosacea. I had acne. So
Mm.
I can't say, oh, it fixed it for me. But here you are. the next best thing. It's Jenny. You're right here. Your skin looks fabulous. And
Thank
I just
you.
feel like it's not a life sentence. It's meat. It's delicious. Have some meat and be free to go out and show your gorgeous little face to the world. And then for you to also not have the anxiety that comes with that. You're on YouTube right now, Jenny.
I know.
I mean, it's not lost on me that this is a pretty big deal that even most people would be very anxious about. And you're just smiling and glowing, and you did that so beautifully. Thank you for coming here to share. I hope.
Thank you for letting me tell my story. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. That was really fun. And now next we get to hear from Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. I've never done anything like this in my whole life. I had to make notes because there's so many awesome things that have happened to me so far.
Sure.
So I actually only started this journey in January, the 10th of January to be exact. I found one of Dr. Ken Berry's videos, and then obviously on one of his videos was you, Kelly, and I just loved your energy so much that I went and I stalked your YouTube page, and I think I've seen every single one of your videos, like every single one in 3 months. It's just amazing. Yeah. So like I said, I started on the 10th of January. I did blood tests at the beginning. I had I have insulin resistance, very bad. 30.
30.
And I think the regular or the normal one, you're supposed to be under 8 or 5. I'm not 100% sure, but around about there. Then I went, beginning of April, I went for tests again, and my insulin resistance has come down from 30 to 12. And that is literally in 2 months.
That's wild, Leah.
Yes. I can't believe just by eating like this, I've gone down more than double my insulin resistance, the numbers.
Yes. And for anybody wondering what you said considered normal, 5 or 8. So on lab work, a lot of times it will say normal is under 22. But we in this space know that probably is normal. That doesn't mean it's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going
Yes.
for better than normal. So Dr. Philip Ovadia, the heart surgeon in Carnivore, has said that he has never had to operate on anybody in the single digits for insulin. So that's a good goal for our health, is to be under 10. And then I've heard Danny Conway in the space say that she optimal likes to see it around a 5 is amazing. So you're right, that 5 to 8 range is considered like beautiful. And for you to have cut it down by more than half, is that right? You said 30 down.
More than double. Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. That's so
Yes.
cool, Leah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very exciting. And then also, I know it's not about the weight loss, this way of eating. Obviously, that's a big bonus. It's about being healthy, etc. But in the past 3 months, I just weighed myself again this morning because I don't really weigh myself. I check my clothes and how I'm feeling. But up until this morning, from the 10th of January, I have lost 50 pounds, 50 pounds.
50 pounds. Oh, my word. Leah, now you're going to make everybody expect that that's normal.
Yeah, that's why that is. And you know what? I eat so much.
Oh,
And also one of the big things is I eat like 80% fat and 20%
Nice.
protein.
yes.
For the energy that I need, etc. So most people are like, oh, no, fat is going to make me fat. No, you
Right.
want the fat to lose the fat.
Yes.
So that is also a major thing for me. I had that brain that we all have, or had. The less you eat, the more you're going to lose. Don't eat fat. You don't. And I had to really condition myself to understand that it's okay to eat 5 tablespoons of butter with your eggs. It's fine. You're not going to die of a heart attack. You're not going to have clogged arteries like everybody's always said.
Right.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be healthy. And I can attest to that. Same as with Jenny, my mental health has improved so much. It's only been 3 months, but I'm already having to reduce my mental health medication. Even if I didn't lose 1 pound, that would have been fine. Just the fact that mentally I'm feeling like a normal person. And I've got terrible social anxiety. Like I try and always stay away from people as much as possible. So doing this without having, to have to have like special medication is just attests to how amazing this way of eating is.
It is, because you seem very at ease and social, and
Yeah.
you're so precious. I love you, Leah. I'm so happy for you. Oh my gracious. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's not easy to come on here and share, but I can tell you just genuinely want to pass this on to somebody.
Yes. Yeah. Because I'm from Namibia, which is in Africa.
Oh,
And the people here are not, if you tell them you're carnivore, they're like, but what about the fiber? And what about the vegetables? And I try to explain, but so they're not very open-minded yet. So if I can just get more people to understand, around me to understand what amazing benefits this has. And that's why I thought to myself, let me come on this and show them. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And I mean, having meat, isn't that the best thing in the world? Meat is amazing.
exactly. It's the best thing in the world. Yeah, I love it. And I think the fact that you are eating enough and you are eating the fat has worked clearly so beautifully in your favor. Whereas I think some people keep giving into that little voice that you said, eat less, avoid the fat.
Yes.
And they're doing carnivore. And I don't think it works any better on carnivore than it did with other foods. Right. So,
And I still have that little voice. Like today, we had roast, and I was like, okay, don't eat too much. And then I thought, no, eat the roast,
Eat the
enjoy the roast. It's Sunday.
I love that. Leah, thank you. You rock, baby. I appreciate you coming here to share.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Valerie. I'm excited to hear what you want to share today. Welcome.
So I've been a strict carnivore since the 24th of March, which means tomorrow will be 4 weeks, which is a big, huge thing for me.
Congrats.
Because I have been struggling for several years, actually, to bouncing back and forth between, keto. I started keto, and then I finally said, I do want to do the carnivore. And most of it was to get rid of the diagnosis of the plaque psoriasis that I had. So I went on medication and it's gone. I'm using carnivore to make sure that it never comes back. In that course of doing, following you and being in your groups and doing your habit tracker and learning, reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is a fabulous book. So I saw a billboard a few weeks ago and it really resonated with me. And it said, define, design, and execute. And I changed it and I said, define, design, and do it. So I started defining my habits.
Okay.
For instance, my walking habits. I'm like, I love to walk. I want to be out in the trees. I want to be out in the woods. I want to see people occasionally, or whatever. It doesn't matter, but I love my walking habit. And one morning I woke up and I was like, I have to go walk today. And I didn't want to. And I realized I wasn't honoring my fun side. You get to go walk where you want to walk, where it makes you happy, gives you joy. So I'm like, let me redefine what my walking habit looks like. Because it's my walking habit. It's not yours. It's mine. So I redefined it. And I said, okay, I get to walk wherever I want that makes me happy. Okay, that's good. For however long it helps me. But I also have to define, why am I doing this habit? So as I started redefining them, then I was like, well, let me design my habits to make it work. So I started redesigning and looking at my habits and saying, this is what's going to work and why is it going to work? Okay, because it's mine. I own it. Yes. Right? Take ownership and honor those commitments and those habits, because our habits define who we are.
Yes. And where we're going. That's
exactly.
Yes.
I mean, I get to define my habits. I get to design my habits to meet and satisfies what I need to do to be successful. I get to influence people by what I'm doing with my body and my life. And they get to see it and they get to go, how did you lose, 80 pounds? Well, let me tell you about meat, right?
Yes. I like that.
Of course you do. So I really enjoy this lifestyle. I was telling a friend of mine that I feel like I was 30 years old, and I'm not 30, I'm 60-ish. So, okay, right? So I'm like, I feel like I'm 30 years old when I eat this way.
Awesome.
I feel like it. I
Yeah.
have the energy. I have the drive. I have the clarity of my mind. I'm not, in a cloud anymore. I'm not depressed. I'm not angry. I don't get migraines. I mean, there's so many benefits to this way of eating, and I'm not itching myself because of the psoriasis either.
Valerie, I'm really grateful that you shared that, owning it and not just copying somebody else's, but really saying, this is what I'm doing and this is why, and I'm going to make it work for me so I get where I'm going. Not because it's some arbitrary checklist, but because it matters. So thank you for the reminder today, Valerie.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. All right, coming up next, we have Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. What's on your mind today?
So when I was 40 years old, I was diagnosed with celiac and 4 other autoimmune diseases. Then I was diagnosed with SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is a GI issue. Actually, 70% of the people who are diagnosed with IBS actually have SIBO as a cause. And I didn't know that. I just thought I had, oh my God, my gut is upside down. I also had Candida, H. pylori, and this just was like seemingly out of nowhere. But luckily, I had really good insurance, and I lived in New York City. So I was going to the top New York City, GI doctors, Harvard trained, the top teaching hospitals. I was going to the doctors who sort of ran the GI units. And I went to Columbia Presbyterian and NYU and Cornell, like all the best. And I got worse. Worse. And yeah, it was quite the journey. I really thought like I might die. Like they can't fix me. These top doctors, if they can't fix me, then what am I to do? I reluctantly found a functional medicine practitioner, and in 6 weeks, she cleaned me up. I mean, she was able to identify, eradicate SIBO, and calm down the autoimmune attacks, and get rid of the H. pylori, Candida. I mean, it was shocking to me that the GI doctors couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, it was life-changing. I got about 75% better. Okay. And, going from where you think you might die to being 75% better, I mean, this was life-changing. I left my speech pathology practice. I went back to school to become her, to become the functional medicine practitioner who changed my life. Ooh. And exactly what I did. And I went on that way for about 5 years, just sort of feeling 75% better. And then I found Carnivore. But before I get there, I just want to show you, I think it'd be interesting to share, because someone was talking about rosacea earlier. I mean, in the first picture here, my face was always 10 times redder than my body. I mean, I had acne and I couldn't eat anything. I was just so ridiculously skinny. It was scary. It wasn't just me. It was also my daughter, who looked like this because she also had SIBO. And this is the bloat that can happen. And so we're going to all these top GI doctors and not getting any better. Went to the functional medicine practitioner, 75% better. So happy, but thought, I think I could do better, but I don't know what's holding me back. And then I initially found Carnivore through people like Dr. Ken Berry and Rebecca Heischman. And then I found you, Kelly. And then I started going to the Carnivore groups, and I met you there, and you were lovely. And I was so motivated, and I got 8 months Carnivore. And this is coming from someone who was a vegan. Listen, I learned functional medicine, and you learn to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables in that space. Right. And so I was really successful doing Carnivore. I was so motivated, and I did that for 8 months, but that was like 5 years ago. So for the next 5 years, I'm back and forth. I can't stick with it. Every 2-3 days, on Carnivore, I would start going, oh, I don't know. And I fall off the wagon. 2-3 days for 5 years. And I finally said, I know what to do. I know how to do it. I mean, do I really need a community? Do I really need this Kelly, group thing? I don't think so. I refer all my people to you. Don't get me wrong. You should do. But I was like, I know what to do. I don't need that. But I finally said, maybe it'll give me the motivation. That's what they say, right? Join a group. And so I did. And just leading up to April 2nd, I knew I have the chills right now. I knew it was going to be different because I had this commitment to these people coming. And for some reason, that did it. That did it for me. I was like, I am making this commitment. I am working with these people, and we're all doing, it's not, I'm going to do it. It was like, we're doing this thing. And you made us write down our commitments, and you made us write down like these steps to do. And I was like, oh my God. And the best part is I'm usually white knuckling my way through carnivore. On my 2-3 days, I do it and then fall off the wagon. And I don't know why. It's the strangest thing. It has been like kind of easy. I haven't had these crazy cravings. Yeah. My rosacea is gone. My gut health is 100%. I am 100%. I'm not 75 in anything. I'm 100% in my health, in my motivation, in my excitement, in my dedication. In my commitment. I'm there, and I don't need to white knuckle. It's just very exciting to feel so entrenched in this. Just because I joined a group, like I don't even understand it, but somehow it's got me 100% of the way there.
That is so cool, and it makes me so happy. I know what it was like for me when I was doing it on my own for 5 years. And then I knew what it was like when I also found people are like, they're just sharing meaty pictures every day and talking about feeling better. And you're just like, oh, this is what we do. This is what we do. It's my people. And it suddenly got so easy for me too. I'm thrilled that we're doing this together, Cheryl. 100%, not just 75% better. You certainly look amazing. I'm glad you feel amazing too.
Oh, I mean, I could say I lost 8 pounds in 12 days. Wow. My skin is even clearer. My energy is stable. No dips. I'm happier. Yeah. I'm just happier. And the fear is gone. You know, oftentimes when I work with a lot of chronically ill people, there's so much fear about what can happen. But I always tell them, you know, you're not going to have the fear of like, am I doing the right thing? Or is this going to take over? Is this what's going to be, you know, the thing that kills me? But guess what? The fear is gone because you're on the right path. And so it's just mentally, it's all for me, the mental aspect of this. I mean, yes, I've lost weight, and yes, I'm clearer skin, but honestly, and the GI symptoms that were 70 are 100%. So I think it's, you know, joining the group to me was even more so than just knowing to eat carnivore.
Well, you have been a blessing to have in the group because you are wise and have so much experience yourself, but also knowledge. And I'm grateful for you, Cheryl.
Yes, thank you.
And I will definitely be linking to anybody who wants their information to be shared, but I feel pretty certain you're willing, right?
I'm always willing. I can talk about this stuff all day.
Awesome. Thank you, Cheryl. We're all pumped for you. Awesome. I'm bringing to you next, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Tell us a little of your story.
Hi, Kelly. I'm so happy to be here. I am 59, postmenopausal. I have been up and down my whole adult life between pregnancies, being on steroids for many years. I was always able to lose it, but eventually, for one reason or another, I'd be gaining my weight back. Mm-hmm. Now that I am postmenopausal and older, it just is so hard. And I ran across carnivore about a year ago. When I told my husband, I thought he was going to say, you're crazy. And he's like, I'll do it with you. So I was like, cool, this makes it even easier. And I was excited about it because these are the foods that I was embarrassed to tell people I liked butter. People would be like, oh, I couldn't eat butter. And I'm like, yeah, I can nibble it all the time. Oh, people cutting the fat off the steak. I'd be like, oh, give it to me. So I was like, I can get on board with this. In the beginning, a few months, I think I lost about 20 pounds. It was mostly, you know, belly weight.
Yes.
My husband lost like 40 pounds and everybody wanted to know what he was doing. And I'm like, hey, what about me? And then all of a sudden I just went on this stall for like 6 months. I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, I got weight to lose, you know, why isn't anything working? But I kept focusing on all my non-scale victories that kept me going during that time. And I kept saying, my body's healing, it'll catch up. And I mean, I dealt with ulcerative colitis for years. And within the first couple of months, that went away finally. No medication. That was such a blessing to not deal with that anymore, because, you know, I wouldn't want to go out of the house when I had flare-ups of that, you know. To have that gone is huge. And if that were my only victory, I'd be happy with that.
Yes.
But I mean, joint pain and restless legs at night, that's gone, you know? So all these things kept me really motivated, and especially like food noise. I can be around anything. I can make things for the grandkids. Doesn't bother me. I'm happy with the food that I have, and I don't have those cravings. So I kept telling myself I'm happy, but I'm like, when am I going to get the other results? I still have, you know, a lot of weight here to lose. And I started hearing little bits and pieces about insulin resistance. And I thought, you know what, maybe I'll order one of those, the Mojo trackers, just to check everything out. And I was surprised to find out that I was having higher readings in the mornings, and well, not just in the mornings, but throughout the day, I had higher readings. And I thought, I'm eating zero carbs, you know, zero. So I couldn't figure out why, you know, it's got to be insulin resistance, and I'm still having high blood sugar readings. And I saw Dr. Boss talking about how you need to fast and repeatedly fast to start bringing it down. And I thought, I don't know if I could do that. I've never tried fasting before. But then I thought, you know, throughout my life, I've had lots of hard things that God has gotten me through. And if I've gone through other hard things, I've gone through cancer, that was like 12 years ago, many things, I won't even get into them all. And I thought, I can do this. I've done hard. So even though this feels hard. So I started off with just a 36-hour fast, and I did it. And I thought, wow, I was happy I did it. So then I did a 72-hour fast. And as I kept checking my blood sugars and my ketones, which were always at like 0.2 always. So checking those, I noticed that during that 72-hour fast, my ketones started to jump up. My blood sugar was down like in the 80s. And I thought, okay, I'm starting to see some results. And I think I lost 2 pounds during that. And I've done that now for 2 weeks. And in the last 3 weeks, I've now lost 11 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I'm seeing the scale move, but I am glad I stuck through with all the non-scale victories.
Yes.
I think each person has to find that key to unlock exactly what it is their body's looking for.
Yes.
And just to stick with those non-scale victories until you find what's going to unlock it. Because from everybody's stories, we're all different and can approach it in different ways.
Yes. Yes. I love every bit of that. And Lisa, I think it's so cool that you did try so many different things. And this was like it's finally bringing it down. So when it comes to glucose, I have met some people where, okay, well, first of all, for a lot of people with high blood sugar, cutting out the carbs takes care of that. I mean, a lot of people, right? Like their A1C starts coming down and glucose. When it doesn't, I'm like, have you given it some time? And there are people like you, Lisa, are like, no, I really have. Okay. A year. There we are. A year. This wasn't a couple weeks. So for some folks, they will limit protein to about 30 grams per meal and up their fat. And that's enough. Their glucose starts to come down and ketones are up and they're like, yes.
Yep.
Some people say, still not happening. So then they'll try a fat fast is a good way. A lot of people do get that exact thing. Glucose, ketones. I experienced that for myself. My glucose was like, wow. And my energy was amazing on a fat fast. That one works great for me. So there are 4 main fasts that I hear get those results the most for the most people. A water fast, which I have never actually done, so I can't say how that would work. A fat fast, which most people are more inclined to try because they're like, okay, look, at least I'm eating. A bone broth fast, which is Dr. Ben Bickman's favorite way to fast. He'll drink bone broth with a little butter. So in a way, it's a bit of a fat fast too. And then a sardine fast where you eat unlimited sardines. Dr. Boz, you mentioned her. She loves a sardine fast. If somebody has tried one and it didn't work, don't give up. That's like what I hear the most from you.
No.
Focus on the NSVs and try
Yeah.
something else. But we know what didn't work. It
Right.
was carbs and sugar and processed foods. So you didn't go back to that. You kept moving forward, and now you are reaping the rewards. And I'm thrilled for you, Lisa.
Yep. Yep. I'm very excited that I finally figured out how this is going to work for me.
Yes.
And I know that even my insulin resistance is going to reverse itself.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep up with the weekly water fast for now until I see that those numbers stay down and my ketones stay up.
Yes.
And so we'll see how that goes.
I look forward to hearing more and more success from you. Thank you, Lisa. I think
Thank you.
Encouragement to keep trying and never go back. Good stuff. Thank you. All right, my next and final person today is Claire Lee. And if she looks a little familiar, this is her second time on the channel. And I'm so excited for her to come back with an update today. Welcome back, Claire.
Hi, thank you so much for having me again. Like Cheryl mentioned, I came through having various diagnoses for autoimmune in my late teens and early 20s. They had no idea what was wrong with me. And it was just diagnosis after diagnosis. And I was diagnosed with celiac disease, Crohn's syndrome, Sjogren's syndrome, which is salivary glands and tear ducts mostly, sarcoidosis, which is the entire body, and Goodpasture's syndrome, which primarily is in the lungs and the kidneys, and apparently really rare.
Okay.
At the same time, they also discovered I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which affects the skin and the ligaments, the collagen production, hypermobility in your joints, and alongside that, POTS or postural tachycardia syndrome. So it's similar to low blood pressure symptoms. If you get up too quick, your heart rate can go, lots of dizziness and sickness. And I went from being a really, really sort of carefree, happy, healthy young person to having all of this medication just to try and feel normal. And like Cheryl said, it was 60-70% normal at best. And the medication was various different types of steroids, various different types of cancer treatments. And then I had to take about 16 different medications for the side effects of the original medications. My weight just, it was out of control. The side effects, it was massive weight gain, which affected my self-esteem, which caused me to eat because I felt so depressed, and you just end up in this really vicious cycle. I was very lucky during this period to meet my husband and have my two fantastic children. And, you know, they love me no matter what size or shape I am, but I wanted to run and play with them. I wanted to be a more active parent. I was exceptionally lucky to come across a really good doctor who asked me if I was happy, and I burst into tears in his office. I wasn't happy at all. And he asked me if I was willing to try anything. And he set me on my path to wellness, starting with intermittent fasting, moving on to keto, and then to carnivore roughly about, 14 months ago now. And during that time, I managed to come off all my medication, which was great. I was keeping my symptoms under control. The weight definitely came off. I am now down 163 pounds in total.
My word. Claire.
So I weighed in this morning at 165 pounds and my starting weight was 328.
Amazing.
So I put UK size 10 jeans on yesterday, and I never thought in my lifetime that would happen. I actually took a picture of the label and put it on our little Facebook group. I was so chuffed. But all that aside, you know, the last 3 months, I have been struggling with weight loss plateau. I know, Kelly, you have really, really helped me, and I've been experimenting and refining and redesigning loads of different things, and I've found lots and lots of things that have worked. But what came along in that time was the non-scale victory I needed. I went off to see my doctor and I have officially been discharged. They are now saying that they cannot find any evidence of any of those diseases in my body whatsoever. The autoimmune diseases are all gone. The Ehlers-Danlos, unfortunately, is going to stick around, as is the other one, but they are completely under control. And the beauty is when you're eating such a diet rich in meat proteins and collagen and all of those good things, that's supporting the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and all of the good weightlifting I'm doing now, because I'm trying to keep up with you, Kelly, and building my muscles is really helping with the hypermobility. So it's a win-win. And it's not all about the scale. It's about health. It's about well-being. And yes, I can say I am now happy. And that is the best answer to everything. And community is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think I've been part of your group since August last year.
That sounds right.
Yeah, no intentions of going anywhere because I need you all. It's part of my life now to check in every single day and be part of my tribe and my people that get it. And everybody out there in YouTube world who's maybe stumbled across this and is thinking, what are these mad women talking about? It's the font of youth. It's the font of happiness. So yeah, thanks to Kelly, thanks to Carnivore, and most of all, thanks to God for bringing me here to all these wonderful women.
Amen. Amen. I love it. Claire, oh my word. Maybe this will be the question to ask. I'm going to look at you watching right now. Are you happy? I can't say it as beautifully as Claire does because I don't have her accent. Ask them, Claire. Ask them the question.
Are you happy?
Right. And if your happiness, we know we have joy in the Lord, and Claire did then too. But when our brain is inflamed, when our bipolar and anxiety is flaring, when you're running to the bathroom all day, when you feel like you can't leave the house because your skin is a wreck, when you feel like the first thing anybody knows about you. I thought about this the other day. I have a friend also named Leah who said, when it comes to your weight, everyone in life has a struggle. Everybody is out of control in something, whether it's their finances or it's their marriage, relationships, maybe it's their spiritual life. Everyone in life has a struggle. But with other people, they get the gift of letting you know when they're ready to let you know. They don't have to let you know right up front their financial struggles, their marriage struggles, their sleep issues, whatever it is they're dealing with. When it comes to your weight, you don't get to make that decision to let them know that food and weight or everything, that's been a struggle. You have to lead with that before you even say, what your name is. And I remember what it was like. I wish somebody knew other things before they knew that. And so, I don't even know where I was going with that, Claire. Okay, let's get back to the are you happy question. So for anybody that's watching, if you are struggling with any of the things that these amazing women have talked about, and maybe you've tried it all, but maybe you haven't tried this, come join us. Even if you don't join us in the group, and we'd be thrilled to have you, join us in the world of Carnivore. Just eat some meat and think of us. How about that? Wouldn't it be nice to know that somebody today eats a beautiful steak and maybe some delicious eggs and they thought of us? Think of us. Do it. Okay. For anybody that joined us, thank you for being here. And ladies, thank you for sharing a part of your lives with other people today. It was very generous of you. And I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the groups this week. Okay. Bye.
Bye.